By the way, this just in. Harvey Weinstein found guilty of rape. He's convicted on 3 of the 7 charges against him, which, on some level kind of leaves you feeling like justice wasn't served. Because, does anyone really doubt that this guy was a monster and that he was using his money, wealth, and power to force women to entertain his disgustingness? Probably not. I don't think a single person thinks that he's genuinely innocent of any of these things. But on the other level, it does show you that even in the most woke county, right, Los Angeles, California, that the Me Too movement still had to be vetted by the justice system, and that there were jurors who spent 9 days looking through all the evidence and coming to the conclusion that we can only get him for 3 out of the 7. The case wasn't proved for the other 7. Mira Sorvino sort of gives her idea of how she feels justice was served. But I think this means that he's looking at 24 years in prison, which, granted, is probably not enough for this cretin. Also, it's kind of odd. Quentin Tarantino worked a lot with this guy. He knew what was going on, and he kept his mouth shut until it was convenient, for him to speak up and say, I'm sorry, I should have said something earlier. Yeah, thanks a lot. Long after the damage had already been done. But if Harvey Weinstein can show up in the American courts with everybody against him and pretty much sure that this lunch meat faced guy was, harassing and forcing himself on women who didn't want him, even though he was a powerful Hollywood guy, okay? If he can go and get a walker and pretend to have hip problems and try to sneak milk duds into prison because he's got to have that candy, even though all of that, he goes through this whole thing and they can only convict him of 3 of the 7. That means that the justice system is pretty fair, which means that, right, Donald Trump is full of crap. Because if Harvey Weinstein can go through the criminal process and beat at least half of the charges, that means that it's at least fair, and it means that Donald Trump is afraid of a fair process.